Hello! So today we're here making a nice, easy, vegan jackfruit quesadilla. So, quesadillas, if you don't know, they're a Mexican food and it's pretty much two tortillas with some filling sandwiched in the middle, and there's cheese so that it kind of sticks together and holds together. Obviously, I said this is vegan, so we're using vegan cheese. You can use whatever vegan cheese you like, but try and use one that melts well so it does kind of stick together and hold it all together. Otherwise, you might have some problems when you try and flip it. So we're using jackfruit as the base of our quesadillas. And if you have never had jackfruit before, it's just literally a fruit. And this is called young jackfruit, and young jackfruit is good as a meat substitute. So this is what it looks like. It's kind of these big sort of chunks of fruit. So you get them in a can, and we're just using one can today, which is 400 grams. By itself, it kind of tastes sort of plain and slightly sweet, but once you add a whole lot of flavors, it kind of has the sort of flavor and sort of consistency of meat or pulled pork. And I'm using corn tortillas today. You can use either corn or flour. It doesn't matter which you use. I like to use corn because I have used flour in the past, and I think that the corn ones kind of just work a bit better. And also, if you have someone that you're feeding who's gluten-free, corn is the way to go. So we're going to start by preparing our jackfruit to go in the filling. So you just want a can that you've already drained. Just get all the chunks out. All right, so we've got it all out of the can. So now we just kind of have to sort of just squish it down and pull it to get all these little pieces. And you're gonna get some of the big chunks, which is kind of, I don't know, the root of it or something. Those are like kind of hard bits, so we can just leave them aside and cut them up in a second. Some of them will just break up. You can see now why people think it looks like pulled pork. So we have a little couple of pieces that were quite chunky and like a bit too hard to kind of shred. So we can just chop those pieces up so they're smaller. Cool. So now our jackfruit's kind of all, consistent enough, and it's ready to be made into some quesadilla filling. Just chuck all your filling in a bowl. Oh, your jackfruit, I mean, sorry. And we're basically just going to mix in some spices. So we're gonna start with smoked paprika and put in a teaspoon and a half of that. And then we're gonna put in a teaspoon each of ground cumin and ground coriander. And we've got some ground chili. So you can kind of adjust the amount depending on how hot you like things. I am gonna add just 1/4 teaspoon, but feel free to add more. Alrighty. We've got some liquid smoke. So liquid smoke is super concentrated. So you literally only need 1 or 2 drops. If you put any more than that, it's gonna taste really bitter and really overpowering. So I'm just gonna do 1 or 2 little drops in here. Okay, like literally the smallest amount. Seems like nothing, but it goes really far. And then just kind of mix all of this together. I can already smell that liquid smoke. Cool, so once that's fairly well combined, we can go and start cooking it on the stove and get it ready. Okay, so we're gonna put a pan on a medium heat. And just chuck in a tablespoon or so of oil. As usual, I'm using olive oil, but use whatever you want. Just try not to use something that's got a strong flavour to it. Okay, so we've got one onion here, which is just diced. So that's just gonna go into the pan once it's heated up. So we're just gonna cook the onion until it's just starting to brown. Just stir it every now and then just so it cooks evenly. Okay, so we can see the onion is starting to brown a bit now. So we can go ahead and add our prepared jackfruit mix into the onions. So just stir that around until it's all kind of mixed. Okay, and once that's all stirred through, we're just gonna add some tomato paste. So it's about 2 tablespoons. I'm not gonna bother measuring it, but it's about 2 tablespoons. Just mix that through. Okay, cool, so now that's all nice and hot and all mixed through. So now just add a bit of salt and pepper just for seasoning. Just guess. Mix that on in. And crucial part is tasting it. Pretty much don't ever season and not taste it. That does need a little bit more salt, so this is why you've got to taste. Get it to your liking. Pepper's okay, it's already quite hot from the chili. If there's anything else you think you should add at this stage as well, like more tomato paste, any more spices, then go ahead and do that. Now we're ready to get that off the heat and actually start building our quesadillas. So we'll go ahead and do that. So we've got our corn tortillas here. So just chuck one of them on a plate or just a flat surface. Sprinkle some cheese on the bottom. And remember, try and use a vegan cheese, which is gonna melt well, so it can help hold everything together. And on top of that, we're gonna put some of our jackfruit mixture. Just kind of press it down a little bit. Just a few spoons. Now, and some more cheese on top as well, so the top tortilla will stick. And now put a pan on a low to medium heat. And just add probably a couple of tablespoons of oil again. Carefully lower your tortilla into the pan. And then straight away, put a second tortilla on top. Sort of press it down just to encourage it to stick. And then we're just going to cook that for a couple of minutes until the cheese is starting to melt and it's kind of starting to, the bottom tortilla is starting to brown a little bit, or is browning. Okay, so this is sizzling away now, and it's been doing that for a few minutes. And the cheese is looking kind of melty, so we're gonna go ahead and flip it. Do this as carefully as you can. And just a warning, I'm not particularly good at this part, so we'll just kind of see how it goes. Oh, there we go, got it. Cool, and then just cook that for another few minutes on the other side until it's also brown. The bottom of that one looks like it's browning, and you can see all the cheese is melty. So I think our first one's done. So we can go ahead and take that out of the pan. And this makes for quesadillas, by the way, which will serve about 4 people if you're having it as a main. So now we can go ahead and repeat what we just did with 3 more times with the tortilla, cheese, jackfruit mix, cheese, tortilla. And cook that and until you've got 4 completed quesadillas. So our quesadillas are all cooked, so now just chop them into quarters so they make little triangles. Cool, so there's our quesadillas all ready to go. So there are 4 of them altogether, this is only 2, but they're all chopped into little triangles, and if you like, when you're ready to serve them, you can sprinkle on some fresh coriander and some chili sauce if you like, and maybe even serve it with some guacamole. Cool, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and go and check out my blog and my social media. Cool, enjoy your quesadillas!